Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. Hello my Astro family and welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. And you'll notice I don't have my Astro wheel with me today, and that's because we're looking at Chinese Lunar New Year, and we'll be doing a forecast for each sign based on Chinese Lunar New Year, but the Astro wheel isn't helpful in explaining how the Lunar New Year works and where the energies are influencing us. So it's a little different. I can't wait to explore it with you. It is the year of the snake, and I'll touch on what that means for us shortly. It's also this year, we're currently in, numerically, a number 9 year, which is a year of significant endings. We're ending a cycle of 9 years. And so it is going to be quite a potent year. Obviously, we're already noticing this in the events that are playing out for us all as we conclude and wrap things up and say goodbye to old energies so we can welcome in the new next year, which will be a number 1 year. On that topic, I want to just share with my YouTube audience the passing of fabulous, wonderful astrologer, my astro father, Rick de Clemente, who passed away just after the full moon in Capricorn. He was a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising person. And the full moon in Capricorn saw him exit this physical life. But I know Rick is watching over us all from the stars on high. And it's lovely to know that his energy is there surrounding us, watching over us still. For those who had the opportunity to have a reading with Rick, you'll know he was the kindest, most genuine, caring, loving soul. And I hope everybody who had the privilege of being able to listen to Rick share on YouTube also realized what a treasure of a person he was. So thank you everybody for the condolences that have been shared with me and with, I believe his widow has also received a lot of condolences and love and support, Liza. And I just send my love to Liza as well at this very, very difficult time. So thank you one and all for your support. And thank you generally, my beautiful YouTube family, for being such a supportive and loving YouTube family. The comments and the emails, the messages I received last week were just mind-boggling and really prompted a lot of tears on my behalf, especially at such a difficult time with the passing of Rick de Clemente. So I just want you to know I give thanks for all the members here on my channel. Just like I pray for my Patreon family members every day, I give thanks for my YouTube family members every day. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you keep coming back week after week to hear about the astral energies and to share as part of this community. Thank you, one and all. And speaking of Patreon members who I pray for every day, my Patreon free members have been enjoying Free Access January. I've called it. Pretty ordinary name, but it's been a really fun and exciting experience. So the free members of my Patreon family have been able to participate in all the videos that have come out this month at the Patreon page at Bronze Star level. So there's an exciting new moon forecast coming out this week. Join up now to gain access to your new moon in Aquarius forecast. It's free for the month of January, and it's really going to be a gorgeous new moon full of wonderful starts for everyone and a beautiful trine to Jupiter. So do check that out. It's free and available for anybody who wants it at my Patreon page. And while we're talking now, everything rolls into something else, doesn't it? We're going to be looking here at the 29th of January, which is when this new moon occurs at 9 degrees of Aquarius, starting what is known as the Chinese Lunar New Year. How does the Chinese lunar calendar work? Why is it a different date every year? How do they figure it out? Well, each time the moon moves into a line with the earth and the sun, so you'll have the sun on one side, the moon and the earth creating a new moon effect. This is a new moon energy, and it begins what is known as the first day of a lunar month in the Chinese lunar calendar. When the full moon appears, which is when you've got the sun, the earth and the moon on the other side, it's known as the middle of a lunar month. And the time of a full moon cycle to go from one new moon to the other is roughly 29 days. So a lunar month has roughly 29, sometimes 30 days. There are between 12 and 13 months in a lunar calendar, and that varies from year to year. I'll explain why in just a second. But the beginning of Lunar New Year is calculated according to the second new moon after the winter solstice. So Lunar New Year begins on the second new moon after winter solstice, and this usually falls somewhere between January the 20th and February the 20th every year. Now, as I've indicated, some years have 12 months in them, lunar months, and some have 13 lunar months. Why? Well, it's a bit like our leap year. The Gregorian calendar, which is what we use in the West, it has this leap year in order to compensate for the fact that the Earth doesn't travel around the sun in exactly to the minute 365 days. And the Chinese calendar is adjusted in a similar way, so it ensures a proper relationship with the apparent movement of the sun between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, moving between the tropic points. So this is why, in very, very simple terms, some lunar years are 13 months long and some are 12 months long. People in ancient times actually concluded that there is a 19-year cycle of the moon, and this is what a lot of this work is based around. And there is a 19-year cycle of the moon known as the Metonic cycle. Now, I explore this in my advanced astrology classes because it's very complex. I'm not going to go into it here on YouTube, but those classes are due for release in March around the spring equinox, where you can study this particular lunar cycle with me. Now, the Chinese calendar is obviously what we call a lunar solar calendar, and it's calculated according to these movements of the sun and the moon and the falling of the new moons each year. The Gregorian calendar that we use in the West is calculated only on the movements of the sun. So once the sun has gone around, the Earth has gone around the sun, for one circle it's 1 year in the Gregorian calendar. So generally speaking, the lunar solar calendar that they use in China is 20 to 50 days later than the Gregorian calendar that we use here. Now, also the Gregorian calendar is not aligned with anything celestial. It doesn't line up with equinoxes or solstices or new moons or full moons or anything else. It's just, by comparison, quite random. But back to the Chinese Lunar New Year. This is the year of the snake. 25 to 2026 is the year of the snake. And this energy of the snake is asking us to be wise as serpents, as the old saying goes. This is what we need to apply in the coming year, to test everything and not just believe something because, somebody else next to us says it's true. Don't just believe the gossip. Don't just believe the propaganda. We need to be wise as serpents. We also need to act diplomatically and consciously avoid being offensive to others during this year. It's a time for listening to our own needs, as well as listening to the needs of others in our life and aiming to come to some kind of win-win outcome. This is in our personal life and also in the larger energies at play. If we don't do this, if we don't aim to have win-win outcomes for all people involved, this will have repercussions on the stability of our life and the stability of our resources. So pay attention. This is a year of putting one foot in front of the other in order to achieve slow and steady progress and development. It's a year for being patient and strategic, not for racing ahead like a racing car driver. The snake is associated with the energy of Taurus, slow, methodical, but with a purpose and a goal. So the ways that we welcome the Lunar New Year energies in, if you would like to do these ceremonies or initiatory practices, this is happening on the 29th of January, Lunar New Year, and this includes cleansing everything in your home in the lead up to new moon. Prepare the house by decluttering your home. Wash the bed sheets. Prepare your body. Prepare your pantry by cleaning everything out. Why not? Who needs an excuse to have a tidy home? I love it. I can't stand it when my home's not tidy. On Lunar New Year, you can take a meditative shower and envision the old energy of the past new year disappearing down the plug hole, and new fresh energy comes in to revitalize your body and spirit. Now, because it's a lunar-based calendar system, you may choose to go and enjoy a dip in the waves if you would like, because the moon rules the tides. So the ocean waves, if you have access to them, can be very enjoyable, refreshing, and recharging as a part of your Lunar New Year ritual. And on Lunar New Year, you can choose to wear something brand new item of clothing with fresh energy embodied in it, symbolizing the brand new start that you're moving into in this Lunar New Year. So they're just some ideas you might like to add your own symbology of new beginnings in, however feels right to you. Now, people who are born in the year of the snake, they're considered to be qualities that we would associate in the Western astrology system with Taurus: rational, calm, thoughtful, and loyal to their loved ones. So some recent snake years, and pay attention if you think you might be a Chinese Lunar Year snake. These years are 2013, 2001, 1989, 1977, 1965, 1953, 1941, and 1921. Do you observe any repeating patterns in history occurring with those years? I don't know about you, but some of those years pretty much stand out to me as the beginnings of a new era, when there was sort of climatic events that pushed energy forward in a new direction. 1989, in the fall of the Eastern communist states and the Berlin Wall in Europe. 1929, the stock market crash, which led to a whole new way of doing things after the upheaval and dust had settled. 1941, the very early stages of World War II. 1965 to me stands out as a pivotal year because I believe 1965 was a cutoff point where you had an old way of doing art, music, fashion, film, and it seems to change very significantly around 1965 and moves into the more I'm trying to find the right words for this. The common word would be the hippie era, but I think it was a contrived hippie era. It was a false narrative that was running by certain parties from 1965 onwards, with certain music, certain fashions, certain things that were occurring politically and socio-economically. 2001 obviously marked a very significant turning point in Western society with the buildings that came down in New York, and I'm not going to talk about whether that was a terrorist attack or not. I'll leave you to do your research on that particular topic, but it did change society going forward quite significantly. So you can see a lot of these years are very, very important. And I do believe for Western astrological reasons, and also as illustrated with these Chinese Year of the Snake years, there's going to be some different and significant redirectioning of humanity as a result of this particular year. So very, very interesting, very exciting, very intriguing as we enter into the new lunar year. Things might step up and get quite busy energetically after Lunar New Year arrives. Now, there are correspondences we can make to our Western zodiac signs with the animals represented in the Chinese lunar-based zodiac, if you want to call it that. And this is what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to go through an all signs forecast that corresponds to your sun sign only. So you can choose to listen to your sun sign or your Chinese birth sign, if you're familiar with what that is. And I'll give you the years as we go through so you can see which one is corresponding to you. So it's not a moon sign forecast. Don't look for your Western moon sign. This is not what this is about. And don't listen to your rising sign. This is a different approach. So we're looking at Western sun signs and Chinese birth year. Okay, let's make a beginning. Sagittarius is where we're starting, and this is a Sagittarius sun sign or the Chinese Year of the Rat, and this means you were born in either 1948, 1960, 1972, 1984, 1996, 2008 or 2020. You would be a Chinese rat. So if you're a Sagittarius sun sign or a Chinese zodiac rat, then this is your forecast. This is a year when, again, as is the energy of the snake, it's going to be all about steady progress and achievement through diligence, not rapid breakthroughs, not rocket launches into your destiny. In fact, I don't think any sign is having a rocket launch into their destiny this year. It's more about pushing through steadily, strongly, with a purpose, having gradual career advancement. And with that in mind, it's a good year to strategize your next career steps rather than trying to find sort of a breakthrough opportunity or something innovative or to initiate some exciting new start. It's more about proceeding with caution and steadiness this year. My daughter is a Chinese Year of the Rat daughter, and she's doing her year 12 this year, final year of high school. So for her, it's very much about doing the one foot in front of the other, strategize, okay, I must study these subjects and I need to get this result in order to get into the university of my choice. So it's very strategic, and it's very much about taking the time, doing things properly, and progressing with one foot after another. Now, as for that's career, and you can associate study with that. As for finances, long-term financial opportunities might show up for you guys this year, but I would really avoid anything risky. In fact, again, because of the overarching energy of this snake year, anything sort of get rich quick is really not favored for any sign. So keep your eyes peeled for any financial opportunities that might present themselves. Anything that comes your way that looks like it's going to make money in the long term with patience and strategy and perseverance. So long-range thinking is so important when you're investing your money, when you're saving your money throughout this year. Relationships this year for Sagittarius sun sign or Year of the Rat people are very much based in communication. It's all about connecting through words or writing or emailing. So this could be intimate relationships that require speaking and sorting things out and laying things on the table, having good conversations, but also personal and sort of friendship and business relationships benefit from that approach as well. We need to be very conscientious this year of not manipulating other people, not trying to coerce them into what suits us. Remember that idea of the win-win situation, very important. As for health, for you guys this year, walking is very good for you, regular evening walks this year, and keeping a good work-life balance to keep stress at a minimum. So don't work overtime if you can help it, unless absolutely necessary. Get home, have a good meal, get plenty of rest, go for your evening walk, and keep the balance healthy for yourself. Okay, Capricorn sun signs or people born in the year of the ox. This will be in 1949, 1961, 1973, 1985, 1997, 2009, or 2021. Year of the Ox. This is a year when your hard work is really going to pay off. Really going to pay off. You know, if you've done the hard yards leading up to 2025, then you might get some kind of recognition at work. You might receive a promotion. You might actually also get a pay rise. Any previous efforts could be rewarded. Maybe you did a great job on a piece of work or a project, and because you did, you are now in consideration for a even better project, or a more lucrative project, a more high-level project. Previous efforts reap rewards in this year for Capricorn sun signs or Ox Chinese people. So money can also grow steadily this year, moving away from career energy. Money can grow steadily for you this year. Now, this is especially true if you have been working on a savings plan in the lead up to this year, 2025. You're going to see that money grow with interest, flourish, and increase rapidly. Stick to your savings plan. Don't give it up, but it's really going to pay off now. It's, as far as investments go, it's a year as for everybody really this year. It's about investing in anything secure, no high risk investments, and long-term based investments are the best thing to go for in this year. Remember, in the year of the snake, I said this in the intro, in the year of the snake, which was one of the years of the snake was 1929, we had the stock market crash. So if you are investing, if you're into investing, it's about long range, like 10, 20 years, seeing things grow to maturity. That's where you should be focusing your investment energy and your money. As for relationships this year, it is excellent for all sorts of relationships, any collaborations, any personal relationships. This energy of the year of the lunar snake in the Chinese astrology is going to help you grow a deeper and a more long-lasting, solid connection with your partner. Absolutely lovely. Now, as for health, you need to have a consistent exercise routine this year. Make it something that you enjoy, because otherwise you will have trouble maintaining it. But if you enjoy a swim in the morning, fabulous. Make sure you can do that all year. If you enjoy going for a jog after work, implement that as part of your year's routine, because it's consistent exercise that allows you to maintain stress levels and maintain your well-being in the year of the snake. All right, our Aquarius sun sign friends, or if you were born in the Chinese lunar year of the tiger, this is 1950, 1962, 1974, 1986, 1998, 2010, or 2022, then this is the reading for you. Now, my friends, this could be something of a challenging year for progress in career. It's not really the year when you're going to step up into a management position according to Chinese astrology. And if you're impatient about getting ahead in career, if you're impulsive in what you're doing, if you're not thinking things through and dotting your I's and crossing your T's, if you're not perhaps using some kind of astrological software to help you make wise choices for the long-term career-wise, then it could lead to some kind of a career setback, actually. So when I say don't seek the top of the tree, I mean, if you're an ambitious Aquarius sun, if you're an ambitious Chinese lunar tiger, then of course you should have a long-range plan and strategy implemented to get to that position that you're wanting. But do so with caution, because if you rush in, as they say, like a bull in a china shop, it's going to actually work in your detriment rather than in your favor. Perhaps sitting back with a nice cup of coffee and assessing where you hope to be in 5 years' time and what you need to do now in order to get there is the best approach. It's not a year for rushing ahead. Also, financially, it's a year for being conservative and cautious. It's about saving rather than spending. So not a year for rushing out and buying that new car or anything like that. It is more about saving up for future years that will come when you can spend and invest in ways that please you. Any risky ventures, this is the case for everybody this year in the year of the snake, risky ventures are unlikely to pay off this year for you guys as well. As for relationships, there might be some conflicts. This is a difficult year for Aquarius suns and tiger people. I'm a tiger person, so forewarned, forearm. Relationships can feel some strain. There might be some conflicts. So what do? We do our best to keep our balance. We need to see our partners through a lens of understanding and compassion. I once heard Alan de Botton say, and I agree with him, that we need to see our partners as children, not treat them as children, but see them as children who have soft little hearts, tender little hearts that need to be handled with love and care. So if we can see our partner in that light and our partner sees us in that light, we can move with understanding and compassion in our relationships. Remember, my friends, the old Elvis song, Walk a Mile in My Shoes? Look it up if you don't know, it's a great old song. But walk a mile in your partner's shoes before you trigger a fight, before you accuse them, before you get aggressive with them. In other words, it's a year for being patient with our loved ones. Now, there is a strong urge to change this year, which could make some of these issues a little bit more tense because you want to move out of that feeling of being stuck, and yet the energy doesn't seem to be allowing it to happen. I hate that feeling. But just so you know, this need for change in the year of the snake can actually affect our health and our mental well-being if we're not prepared. So have some relaxation techniques on schedule, like a regular massage, breathing techniques, mindfulness practices, meditation, anything that works for you to keep the present in your life. I'm going to book my massage as soon as this reading's over. Pisces sun signs and year of the rabbit people. This includes anyone born in the year 1951, 1963, 1975, 1987, 1999, 2011, and 2023. For these people, if you're focused on being flexible and collaborative in all your endeavors this year, especially career-wise, this could be a terrific year for career growth for you, where you're going to see a lot of progress, a lot of momentum, and a lot of rewards coming your way. I encourage you to use every opportunity that is available to you to network and connect with others professionally. And that might mean getting out of your comfort zone, but it will pay off in the end. So, you're asked to, attend some opening for a gallery that you've been involved in doing the marketing for or something, for example. And you're like, I'd really rather stay home and curl up with a good book. But no, Kesenya said, every opportunity to network and connect professionally, I should take it. It will pay off. It will reward you in the long run. Now, as for finances this year, Caution is needed financially in the year of the snake for you people. So have a good budget and make sure you stick to it this year. It's not necessarily that you can't spend or that money's going to, drip through your fingers, but it's about being careful. That's all. You might find that your money and savings rises this year, and that is a real win. But have that good budget, stick to it, and be cautious. It will serve you best. Also, this is the case for everybody this year in the year of the snake. If you're an investor, choose conservative, safe investments that have the ability to pay off well over time with steady growth. Nothing risky, nothing sort of, flash in the pan kind of thing. It's an excellent year for you guys for relationships. So if you're single, you might make a significant, meaningful connection according to the Chinese astrology principles. If you're in an existing relationship, then it's going to flourish and grow for you this year. Existing emotional bonds are going to create happiness and expansion in your life. Big thumbs up there. Now, work, even though it's terrific for career growth, as I said, you'll need to be flexible and collaborative because it can be pressure-filled at work. So there's a need for health to balance professional stress and pressure with your home life, with your own ability to have mental well-being. So due to that work pressure, which is going to be terrific for you, keep that in mind. I'm not saying that it's not going to be to your advantage, but with that extra work pressure, you're going to need to have some sort of balancing methods at hand. Meditation, walks in nature, things like that. Swim in the ocean and so on. Now, if anxiety should pop up for you guys this year, make sure you've got those relaxation techniques on hand to provide support. I like to write down a list and put it on my fridge so that if I'm feeling a little bit antsy, I go to my list. Oh, what do I feel like? I feel like going for a swim, or I feel like a bike ride, or I feel like curling up with a cup of tea and writing in my journal. Whatever relaxation techniques work for you, have your list as a go-to on the fridge. Now, if you're an Aries sun sign person or a Year of the Dragon person, then this is the reading for you. And Year of the Dragon includes 1952, 1964, 1976, 1988, the year 2000, the year 2012, and 2024, last year. What can you expect career-wise? It is a year of great potential, my beautiful friends. You're going to love this year. It's not a year for sort of a rocket launch into some career destiny. It's not going to come in a flash, but it's a year where the energy is going to build steadily. And as the year goes on, it's going to be more gainful and more gainful and more gainful. It's an accumulation of growth, gain, and potential in your career life. So wherever you're at now, in your career cycle, know that by the end of this lunar year, you're going to be in an even better position than you are right now. Also regarding finances, growth is likely, but I would still suggest getting professional financial advice for any major investments or any major purchases, get my words out properly. So you know that you will be able to, similar to your career, grow steadily in finances as the year goes on, but in order to get the most out of it, do seek a reputable professional. Now, as for relationships, well, this is also a year of growth. It's all go, go, go for our beautiful Aries people and Dragon people. So relationship growth is good. It's really fabulous for getting to know your partner better or deeper, or seeing them in a new light and loving them all the more. Fantastic for relationships. If you're in a single state, then it's a really great year to deepen your friendships in that way and get close with your support networks, deeper with your support networks, just feeling the love around you. And what's not to enjoy about that? Now, as for health, there are some things to be aware of. Overwork and burnout are the biggest triggers to your health this year. So make sure you take time out when you need to. Don't overdo it. Don't bust your boiler if you want to maintain health and well-being. So eat well, get plenty of rest, keep that balance in your life. I mean, this goes without saying every single year, but it's particularly true in the year of the snake as a result of the overwork and burnout pressures. With so much potential in career, you could be running like a steam train and then blow a gasket. Okay, so keep the balance is essential to get the most out of your career and the most out of your health. If you are a Taurus sun sign in Western astrology or a year of the snake person, this is 1953, 1965, 1977, 1989, 2001, 2013, and obviously if you're a little one born this year, then this is the energy. Although I doubt you'll be investing or having any career progress this year if you're born in 2025. So this, my friends, is a highly transformative year for your career. It is a year where you begin career-wise will not be the same place you end up in at the end of this lunar year. It's going to be full of change and full of redirectioning, mostly in the best sense. A year of professional empowerment, a year of professional breakthroughs. If you felt like I just can't get past this glass ceiling, bronze ceiling, whatever, I can't break through to the other side in terms of management positions or recognition or whatever it is, this is your year when it may just happen for you. That's career. It's all looking good. Put in for that promotion, put in for that pay rise, go for it. Now, my friends, it's also a year where you should seek to invest in any financial opportunity that comes up for you, provided it's a stable opportunity. No one should be investing in high-risk ventures in this particular Chinese lunar year. So if you are presented with financial opportunities and you know that they're from a steady, or they've got a steady, stable projection, then go for it. Now, as for relationships this year, they kind of oscillate between two extremes, I have to say. You'll probably notice there are times when you are filled with desire for your partner, passion and love for your partner, and then at other times you just feel like giving them a good slap. Please don't do that. Friction is the word. So the key this year is to keep your relationship channels and communication channels with your partners open. Talk about everything. Lay it all out. Don't keep secrets. And that way, you can deal with the friction. Not that I'm saying everybody has to be like David and I, but we have a habit. We have this list of little question cards for relationships, and we ask each other a question every night. Talking about what our deepest feelings are, our thoughts are about certain topics and issues, and it keeps things open. We know we can be fully ourselves with one another. So I just encourage you, if you're in a relationship, do keep the passion alive. You won't have trouble doing that, I'm sure, but also keep the friction at bay by having open communication, regular communication. There's also a strong need health-wise for you to rest this year. This means booking regular breaks, taking a holiday at some stage this year, taking the days off that are offered to you to take, and having fun and enjoying your life on those days. It's not about, I haven't taken a day off in years and then I got sick and I spent my entire holiday in bed. No. Don't be like that. Take regular breaks to maintain your health. And I'd also encourage you, keep your diet clean and light. And by clean and light, try and avoid processed foods, basically. Try and make sure that the food you eat is coming in its purest form that you can manage to find. And light foods are obviously, fruits and vegetables and salads and things like that. Now, if you're a Gemini sun sign or a year of the horse person, and these are the years 1954, 1966, 1978, 1990, 2002 and 2014, then this is your forecast. As far as career goes, it's really a year of reflection. Look at how far you've come in your life and celebrate it. Celebrate what you've achieved career-wise. You know, I used to always think I don't know enough, I haven't done enough, I've got to do more, I've got to do more, I've got to do more. And I sat down and I had to rewrite my CV for my resume recently. And I looked through everything that I'd done and I was actually flabbergasted. I'm like, oh my gosh, this need to always do more has resulted in a pretty hefty CV now. And it really does pay off to sit down sometimes, my friends, and reflect on how far we've come and what we've achieved and what we've accomplished. Make sure you take time to do that this year. And also in doing so, reassess your career goals. It's a very reflective year for Geminis. Are you heading in the direction that feels right for you? Are you aligned with where your heart is at? Does your career fulfill you? You might like to journal about all of these concerns or questions rather and see what comes up. As for progress in career, it's a bit slower for you guys this year. Really, as I've just indicated, it's more about reflection and strategizing than rushing ahead and seeing great things accomplished in career. So I suggested this for one of the earlier signs. You might like to sit down and think about where you want to be in 5 years' time or 10 years' time career-wise, and then make some dot points about what you need to do today to get to that place in 5 years' time. I would also suggest for you guys to avoid any financial risk-taking or recklessness. They won't work out. That is the case for everybody this year. Anything, get rich quick is unlikely to be supported in this year of the snake. So really be as sensible as you can with where you spend your money, how you save your money, and any investments that you are choosing to undertake. Now, as far as relationship goes, if you're single and a Gemini sun or a year of the horse, it is a year when you might encounter some romantic relationships. You might, if you're looking for somebody, you might meet someone. But those relationships, those dates, that boyfriend, that girlfriend might actually lead to more personal strain in your life than you would have wanted. So think twice, or perhaps honor the self, don't stop going out on dates, don't stop meeting people if that's what you want to do. But the moment they cross the line, have some good boundaries in place. The moment that there is a line crossing event, call it off. It's not worth the stress to yourself to pursue things that are just not going anywhere. Now, as for existing relationships, excuse me, you're going to benefit this year, my friends, from good heart-to-heart talks, openness and honesty. Now that's, we would think, well, we should be doing that all the time anyway, but sometimes we need a good reminder. We need a good kick in the pants. So it could mean that you book a dinner for you and your partner to go out to a lovely restaurant or something, and you bring up some heavy topics, things that have been on your mind, things that are concerning you. It could mean, just as I mentioned before that David and I do, we utilize a little talking cards to ask each other questions and get a feel for where each other's at on certain topics. So any mechanisms that you've got that can help open up the communication channels will really strengthen your relationship or keep it from going downhill. And if you're looking for where to get hold of some of those sort of resources, the School of Life is a wonderful resource for encouraging communication, thinking, and talking. Now, as for health, keep as active as is necessary to keep both your mental health and your physical health in balance this year. Yes, you could say that to anybody in any year, couldn't you? It really applies to all of us. It's important to keep active. But for Gemini people who are all about movement and restlessness, it's doubly important. So it doesn't have to be scheduled. It doesn't have to be routine. Every day I get up and I go for a run and blah, blah, blah. No, but make sure that you include some refreshing forms of activity to keep you mentally buoyant and physically healthy. It could be that you play badminton on a Tuesday night. It could be that you get involved in, barefoot bowls down at the local, lawn bowls club or something like that. And you go every weekend. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing to keep active, do it. It could just mean that you take the stairs at work instead of taking the lift, and you benefit from being as active as possible. Moving on to our Cancer sun signs, and also to anyone born in the year of the goat. These years are 1955, 1967, 1979, 1991, 2003, 2015. Well, this is a great year. I'm so happy to tell you, Cancer suns and goats. It's great for career development and opportunities coming your way in career. So bring on the Lunar New Year. You might get offered a new position. You might change jobs into something that feels more aligned with who you are. You're going to have great opportunities to build your networks and your professional connections, and it's certainly worth investing in those things. I would also encourage you to reach out to your professional connections and networks if you're having any trouble in career, because they're the ones who can really support you and help your endeavors to pay off this year. That's exciting. It's going to be a great career year for you. As for investments and money, it's not the best of years to make new investments. So just sit tight on any old investments that you've got, knowing they're going to grow and move ahead over the long term. But really, don't go looking for any new investments this year. For you guys, they're unlikely to be all that beneficial. Rather, it's a year for focusing on saving, budgeting, and strategizing for the future. So if you do get that new position, make sure you tuck some money away for the future. If you do get a pay rise, maybe start a little bank account that's going to save that extra cash that you're getting instead of spending it willy-nilly. As for relationships, well, for you guys, most beautifully this year, they're going to be a real source of comfort and support to you this year. Relationships for you are going to grow and strengthen and deepen. So happy to tell you that. It's a real year for blossoming in relationships. As for physical health, and this is the case for everybody, we should be looking after our physical health, but for you, the focus this year is on cardio exercise. So doing cardio at least 3 times a week is going to keep your circulation vital and on point. And this is, pardon me, and this is going to keep you more physically healthy and mentally healthy as well. So make sure you schedule your times in your routine to go for a jog or a swim or any kind of bike ride or something that gets the heart pumping, that gets the heart racing and the breathing increased a little. That's where it's at for you guys this year to maintain peak physical condition. For our Leo sun signs and anyone born in the year of the monkey, this is 1956, 1968, 1980, 1992, 2004, 2016. This is going to be a challenging year for you guys in career. There might be obstacles that you need to address, and you need to address them creatively to be able to overcome them. So it could be if you're running a business or if you're working for somebody, if you're doing any kind of Leo-based kind of work at all, performance writing, anything to do with creativity. It could be challenging this year. You might have mental blocks, like I can't think of, how I should describe this character in my book. Or perhaps you're going to feel like I really want to put in for this high level position at work, but I'm just sort of getting the vibe from everybody around me that I shouldn't do so. It's challenging this year. There's obstacles. You might not even realize what the obstacles are. So I encourage you, just keep putting one foot in front of the other, as is the nature of the year of the snake, knowing that this year will pass and eventually you'll come out the other side to a more profitable year for career for you. So keep flexible, keep adaptable. These are key words for you this year that are going to help you move through whatever comes up. So I'm a Leo sun. And I'm like, right, okay, I need to be flexible, I need to be adaptable, I need to be willing to do anything that is presented to me. And certainly I'm feeling that in my career life at the moment. Whatever comes up, I'll just go with the flow and do what's required of me to the best of my ability. Now, as for money, well, it's all about budgeting, planning, and saving, and avoiding impulsive spending. So really a year for not necessarily tightening the belt, but just being wise and just being cautious. That's the year of the snake energy. And it certainly applies to our Leo sun signs and also our monkeys out there. Now, as for relationships, they might experience some tension on your behalf. Doesn't mean that your partner is going to be experiencing their tension, but you might. So, you might need to journal about some things that are bugging you, or to do some counseling, if you like, about, issues that are sort of pushing your buttons within the context of business relationships, friendships, or even personal relationships. And it's also a good idea to keep issues out in the open and avoid secrecy. Be honest, be real with your partner. If you're struggling with something, find a gentle, loving way to share it with them. If they're a receptive kind of a person. There are some people that you can't tell anything to, and without them going off their nut. So if the relationship allows for it, make sure you're honest and open and upfront about any tensions that you're having. If you're a single person, it's not the best energy for dating. Yes, you might meet people, but you may be disappointed. Before I had the blessing from the universe of meeting David, I had 14 years, and I did occasionally go on some dates. I wasn't just focused on raising my children for those 14 years. I went on some dates sometimes, and usually off some horrific dating app, and I would, rock up at the particular date, get talking with the person, and then be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? How do I get out of this situation as quickly as possible and unoffensively as possible? I could tell you some horrific stories, believe me, like really your jaw would drop on the floor. So weigh up whether it's worth trying, my friends, or whether you're just like, what, this is a year for me. I'm going to focus on my enjoyment, my well-being. I'm going to do classes and instead of swiping left and right and what have you. I'm going to go and learn how to cook pastry, do pastry chef class, or I'm going to go and learn, basket weaving or something for me. Might be a better approach this year rather than thinking, I've got to find the one. Better to wait till the universe is ready for you to find the one. Now, of course, having said that, everybody's personal astrology chart is very different. And so I will just quantify what I'm saying here by the fact that what I'm giving you in this YouTube video is a general read of the energies. For all my beautiful viewers out there, you know your astrology. You know that your specific chart can have things going on that are far more potent than the general energy that I'm talking about here. So learning astrology is a big advantage in that regard, so you can see, this is what's going on. This is more important for me than the general energy Kesenya is referring to here. Now, as for health and well-being, stress management techniques are imperative. As a Leo sun myself, I'm already feeling into this. I'm trying to have good structure, good day-to-day running lists for how I'm accomplishing everything I like to accomplish, and downtime. No person is a machine, so having time to watch a movie, having time to relax with a glass of wine, doing things that feel good to you and enjoyable to you, stress management techniques, yoga and stretching are very important. Remember, I said part of this energy is to remain flexible and adaptable. Any stretching exercises like yoga, Pilates, that sort of thing, are to be encouraged this year to help loosen any tension in the muscles and the body and keep you well. If you're a Virgo sun sign or a year of the Rooster person in Chinese astrology, and this is 1957, 1969, 1981, 1993, 2005, 2017. Well, this is your reading. So as far as career goes, you really need to be as organized and methodical as possible. If you are a good time manager, if you follow a good day-to-day structure in your career, if you're well organized, then you'll find excellent opportunities for career advancement and progress. If you're scatterbrained and all over the place, we know Virgo suns aren't like that, but if you are, then it might be harder to achieve the career roles that you are desiring. If you are organized and methodical, you might be offered a leadership position at some point this year. So attention to detail, perfect for Virgo suns, serves you very well professionally this year, because if you pay attention to the little intricacies, the dotted I's, the crossed T's, the fine print in a contract, you're going to actually progress at a rate of knots. Now, also, good news for you guys is that financial success is likely to arrive this year. You are likely to have some benefits financially. So, career success, financial success, fantastic. I would still suggest, though, keeping a level head and avoiding overspending. You might have been through a tough time where the money just wasn't coming in. This happens in cycles. And, oh, yay, now I've got the money. I'm going to go buy this. I'm going to go buy that. No, try and keep that budget tight and save that money unless it's absolutely urgent or something essential. Keep your head level and your feet on the ground when the money starts rolling in for you this year. As for relationships, you're going to strengthen your personal connections this year by directing your energy into being dependable, trustworthy, and loyal. The more you can exhibit those sorts of behaviors, the more your relationship is, the roots of the relationship tree are going to really go down solid and strong into the ground. I would also suggest, though, it's a year when you really need to be very conscious about not criticizing the people that you love. Bite your tongue. You might think it, but don't say it. Really just exude words of love and encouragement and upliftment, not the, why did you do that? And you never do this for me, blah, blah, blah. Leave that kind of tone off the table completely this year if you want your relationship to grow and to flourish. As for well-being, well, my friends, who needs an excuse to take regular breaks and holidays? You don't need an excuse, but I'm telling you, you should. Days off, regular rest and self-care, these are good for your well-being, physically and emotionally. So lots of time out if you can manage it, regular days off, taking weekends away, and a holiday at some stage during the year to refresh your mind, body and soul. Libra sun signs or Year of the Dog. This is 1958, 1970, 1982, 1994, 2006, or 2018. If this is you, this is your reading for the Chinese New Year. Well, my friends, it's not a year where you want to leap into any new career decisions. getting an impulsive desire to, go and be a window washer and leave your high-paying job as a, financial analyst or something. Don't leap into anything sort of out of the blue. Take time, be cautious, be deliberate, be well-researched in all your choices that you undertake. Steady progress is really possible this year, and with careful planning and the snake energy of putting one foot after the other, you're going to get somewhere. You will find that the way you start the year is at a lower point than where you end the year, because you're going on the up and up. But it is all about practicing patience in your work life and making progress, like I said, through planning and perseverance. Similarly, in your finances, caution is advised. Caution's advised for every sign this year. It's not a year for just throwing the money around. It's about avoiding impulsive spending, adopting a conservative approach, investing in things that are more long range, long-term, blue chip, they call them, those sorts of things, and saving where you can. Much better approach than to sort of throw the money around. Sometimes we need a new car. Sometimes we need to, upgrade an old worn out couch or something like that. And we are required to make big purchases. But it's the impulsive spending that we need to be conscious of this year. You're walking down the street, you see a Cartier watch in the window and you're like, oh my God, I've got to have it. And you just go in and buy it. That's what we're talking about. Now, as for relationships, emotional strain might be a bit present in your partnerships this year. Any new relationships that come on the scene, as well as old long-term relationships. So it's about having patience and understanding, and that can help us navigate sort of the relational ups and downs. I've mentioned this a couple of times in this video already, but the School of Life has some wonderful resources for understanding and navigating relationships. And one thing that Alan de Botton, I heard him say in a talk in Melbourne back in 2016, was how important it is, how very, very important it is to see our partners through the eyes of love, naturally, but to see them as children. You know how we love our children and we're forgiving of our children, we're patient with our children, we're caring of our children. If we were treating our partners in the same way, it would allow for relationships to grow and strengthen and flourish. So remember that. Keep that in mind as we practice patience and understanding to alleviate any emotional strain in relationships this year. Now, this is a year also where your health might need some sort of particular attention. You might need to, go see some specialists or watch what you eat more so than usual this year. Don't neglect your health. If you notice a niggle in your hip, go get it seen to straight away. If you're feeling that, there's something up with your skin, it's all, maybe got some sort of eczema or something happening, then make sure you go down to the pharmacy and get their advice and wisdom. Don't hesitate, because health is a bit more susceptible for you guys this year. Keep your mental health and your physical health, get my words out, at their best by having a consistent self-care and health routine as well. If you are a Scorpio sun sign or a year of the pig person, and the year of the pig in the Chinese Zodiac is 1959 or 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, 2019. If this is you, then this is your reading for the year ahead. Professionally and career-wise, there might be some obstacles in your way this year. You might aspire to be at a certain level, but you've got to go back and study and get, your piece of paper before you can get there. So there's something sort of limiting the rocket launch speed you want to go into your career trajectory. So you need perseverance. You need a long-range view for your career endeavors. Career advancement can feel slow this year because maybe you've got to get qualified, maybe you've got to get the certificate. It's about head down tail up, work hard, and pay attention to the details. One of my little ones, not so little anymore, is a year of the pig person, and they're certainly realizing, okay, I thought it was all going to be like this, and this is how the career and work world works, and now I've been out in it for a while and I'm starting to see, I think I should go back to school. I think I should get a certificate. I think I should work through, because the rewards come for diligence and patience and hard work. This is where it's at for a lot of our pig people and our Scorpio people this year. You might be realizing there's more work that needs to be done before you can attain that level you aspire to. So long-term goals rather than immediate gratification, they're the name of the game for you guys this year. Same goes for any financial investments or dealing with money. Prioritize savings this year and implement a good budget. It is not a year when anyone is encouraged to take any risky ventures up. I can't see that working for anybody in the year of the snake. So, you can invest in things, but if they are things that will grow over time, blue chip investments and so on, that's where you should be putting your money. There might be some financial hurdles money-wise this year, so do be cautious and considered when you're spending. Like if you need a new couch because your old one is worn out, make sure you shop around. Do your research, do your due diligence. Don't just run down to the furniture store and grab the first one that you see. Shopping around is a great idea, and if you can go for not necessarily a bargain, it's not what I'm saying. Sometimes you buy the cheap thing and you regret it, but I think in Australia we have op shops, they're called. Thrifting stores are what they are referred to in other parts of the world, and they're very popular. People love thrifting. Well, let's say you need a new couch. Well, going to the thrift store or the op shop might be the best option this year, because it encourages you to spend less, and it can also pick up something really high quality for next to nothing. Shopping around on Facebook Buy, Swap and Sell is another option. It's very much about saving money where you can this year, but still getting quality. As for relationships, there can be misunderstandings this year, especially if we're being secretive, especially if we're holding our cards close to our chest. Really, it's about openness. If you can cultivate openness and honesty, the misunderstandings are lessened. They have less impact. So if you want your relationship, be it a business partnership, be it a personal relationship, if you want them to grow and flourish, make sure you speak your truth and keep things honest in a loving, caring way as much as possible. If you're a single person, well, you should concentrate on being as authentic as you possibly can in the dating arena. Not being a people pleaser, not trying to put on the right mask and the right image for what you think that person would want. It's about being truly, honestly, most authentically you this year. And if they don't like it, well, there's the door, Be real. And you'll probably attract more people into your environment and repel the wrong ones who aren't meant for you anyway. So no more people pleasing. That's your mantra if you're a single Scorpio sun or a single year of the pig person. Now, as for health, fatigue is your biggest enemy regarding health this year, being worn out and tired. So get plenty of rest. If you hit Saturday and you are like, you know what, I am absolutely, as we say in Australia, I'm buggered. Go and have a nap in the middle of the afternoon. Don't push yourself to get through and keep going, and you'll be like a steam train that's run out of fuel. Get rest, get relaxation, because wearing out, burning out is the biggest concern to your health this year. Having a consistent approach to well-being practices that support you is also necessary. So every week, if you need a massage to help you rest and relax, do it. If you need to, go for a walk around the park to rejuvenate your senses, by all means, take time out in your schedule to do that every week. Whatever works for you, that's what we need to focus on. And my friends, this is the end of our overview for the year of the snake and how it might be affecting you generally for your sun sign and your particular Chinese zodiac year. Thank you for joining me for this analysis. I'll be back with another Astro Weather Report next week.